The city of Toronto looked beautiful at night. Tall buildings glowed under the cold rain, expensive cars moved through wet streets, and office windows still shined high above the city long after midnight. But while most people were sleeping peacefully, 22-year-old Adrian Cole was cleaning those offices alone. Every night at exactly 11:30 p.m., Adrian pushed an old janitor cart through silent hallways wearing the same faded gray uniform. Trash bags, cleaning spray, wet floors. That was his world. Employees barely noticed him. Some walked past while talking about million-dollar deals. Others complained when the coffee machine wasn't clean enough. To them, Adrian was invisible. Just another poor worker cleaning up after successful people. But nobody knew the truth. Every single night, while cleaning those giant corporate offices, Adrian secretly studied the lives of the people working there. Not by spying, by observing. He noticed how confident people spoke, how leaders solved problems calmly, how successful people valued time differently. And slowly, something dangerous started growing inside him. Belief. Not fake motivation. Not social media inspiration. Real belief. The belief that maybe his future did not have to look like his present. Because Adrian came from nothing. His father had spent years working in factories until his body finally gave up. His mother cleaned hotel rooms across the city just to pay rent. Money was always tight. Dreams were always unrealistic. Growing up, Adrian constantly heard the same sentence. People like us don't become successful. At first he believed it. Until one small moment changed everything. One freezing winter night, Adrian was emptying trash inside a massive marketing company downtown. Most employees had already gone home. Except one. A middle-aged businessman sat alone in a glass office staring silently at his computer screen. Adrian quietly cleaned nearby. Then suddenly the man asked, "You work every night?" Adrian nodded politely. "Yeah." The businessman looked at him carefully. "You remind me of myself." Adrian almost laughed. There was no way this wealthy executive had ever lived a life like his. But the man continued. "When I was your age, I worked night shifts at a gas station." Adrian froze. The man smiled slightly. "Most people think success happens in one lucky moment. Truth is, it happens in lonely moments nobody sees." Those words stayed in Adrian's mind all night. For weeks afterward, he couldn't stop thinking about them. And one night, while riding the subway home at 3 a.m., Adrian made a decision that would change his life forever. Instead of spending his free time escaping reality, he would spend it building a future. The next morning, despite barely sleeping, Adrian opened his old laptop and searched how to learn digital marketing. At first, everything felt confusing. Advertising, branding, analytics, content strategy. It sounded like another language. But Adrian refused to quit. Every morning after work, while the city slept, he studied for 2 hours before bed. Then he woke up again at night to clean offices. Over and over. Day after day. Month after month. It was brutal. Some days his body shook from exhaustion. Some nights he questioned everything. Especially when progress felt invisible. His friends mocked him constantly. "You really think watching business videos will make you rich? You're wasting your time. People like us stay broke." Those words hurt. But Adrian noticed something important. The people mocking him had completely given up on themselves. And Adrian refused to become one of them. So he stayed silent. And kept learning. 1 year passed. Then another. Slowly Adrian began freelancing online. Small projects at first. Tiny payments. A logo here. A marketing campaign there. Nothing impressive. But every client taught him something new. Every failure made him smarter. Every small success built confidence. Then one night, everything changed. A small business owner from Australia hired Adrian to create a marketing campaign for his coffee company. Adrian worked harder on that project than anything in his life. For 6 straight days, he barely slept. He studied customer psychology, created emotional advertisements, learned storytelling techniques. And when the campaign finally launched, the results exploded. Sales tripled within weeks. The Australian company went viral online. Suddenly, more businesses started contacting Adrian. Canada, Germany, France, the United States, Switzerland. Clients from around the world wanted to work with him. For the first time in his life, Adrian realized something powerful. The internet had changed the world. It no longer mattered where you were born, only what value you could create. But success didn't arrive instantly. Even after making money online, Adrian continued cleaning offices for another year. Not because he wanted to. Because fear still lived inside him. Fear of losing everything. Fear of failure. Fear that maybe this was all temporary. Then one night, something happened that changed him forever. While cleaning the same corporate office building, Adrian passed by a conference room filled with executives discussing a huge international campaign. One executive suddenly pointed at a presentation screen and said, "We need someone who understands emotional marketing." Another replied, "What about Adrian Coles?" Adrian stopped walking. His heart nearly exploded. The executive nodded. "That guy's campaigns are unbelievable right now." For a moment, Adrian couldn't breathe. The same buildings he once cleaned invisibly were now talking about him with respect. Not pity. Respect. That night, Adrian stood alone on the rooftop of the building staring at the city lights below. Cold wind moved across the dark skyline. And for the first time in years, he cried. Not because life was hard. Because he realized how close he had once come to giving up on himself. Months later, Adrian officially quit his janitor job. His online agency grew rapidly. Businesses from around the world hired him. His family moved into a better home. His father no longer needed factory work. His mother finally rested. But the most important thing Adrian gained was not money. It was identity. For years, he believed his circumstances defined him. Poor family. Night shifts. No connections. No degree. No opportunities. But eventually, Adrian learned the truth. Your current reality is not your final identity. Most people stay trapped because they accept the story life gives them. Successful people rewrite it. Years later, Adrian became one of the most respected digital entrepreneurs in North America. He spoke at business conferences across the world. Millions followed his content online. People called him inspiring, disciplined, successful. But nobody saw the lonely subway rides at 3 a.m. Nobody saw the exhaustion, the doubt, the silent sacrifices. Because success is built long before the applause arrives. And one evening, after speaking at a massive business event in New York City, Adrian quietly walked outside alone. Rain fell softly across the streets. Luxury cars waited nearby. Fans stood outside asking for photos. But Adrian barely noticed them. Because across the street, he saw a young janitor pushing a cleaning cart into another office building. The young man looked exhausted. Invisible. Just like Adrian once did. Slowly, Adrian walked across the street and stopped him. The janitor looked nervous immediately. "Sorry, sir, am I blocking the entrance?" Adrian smiled softly. "No." Then he handed the young man a small business card. On the back, Adrian wrote 6 simple words. Your future is bigger than this. The young janitor stared silently at the card. Confused. Hopeful. Emotional. And as Adrian walked away into the rain-filled city lights, he smiled quietly to himself. Because somewhere, another invisible person was about to begin believing in themselves for the very first time. And sometimes, that changes everything.